Welcome, everybody. It is Wednesday again, and that means Mental Health Minute. Today, we are talking about the top 5 food items that can benefit your mental health. And of course, before we even start our conversation and topic, because today we have Tanetta Talks in the building, not Tanetta Cells anymore, Tanetta Talks in the building. We're going to give you that 1 minute, and that 1 minute represents whatever you want it to be. This 1 minute is for yourself. I always say, take this 1 minute for yourself. And in this minute, if you want to just say, I love you through the whole time, do that. If you want to take this minute and just clear your mind and reset your soul and spirit, do that. Either way, this 1 minute is for you. And why we do this 1 minute is so that folks can practice taking the time to reset themselves, being mindful, checking in on what they're feeling. If there's some anxiety, feelings that are happening here and resonating here, take this 1 minute to check in on that. You're worth it and you're important. So take this 1 minute. We will be back after this minute, and myself and Tanetta Talks are going to give you these gems that you've been waiting for, the top 5 food items that benefit your mental health. Welcome back. Thank you for taking that minute for yourself, and also for letting Tanetta Talks and myself join you within that minute. Let's get to business. Today, we are talking about the 5 food items that can benefit your mental health. And you know what? I am a foodie. My love language is cooking and feeding folks. And obviously, I know the benefits of food and what it can do for your mental health, your body physically. But you know what? There's things that I don't know. And that's why I wanted to invite Tanetta Talks into this space. And when I reached out to Tanetta Talks, I said, hey, I got this topic. I want to talk about the benefits of food and mental health. She immediately booked with me to make this conversation happen. So, Tanetta, I'm going to give you that clap. Welcome into the room. Big ups to Tanetta Talks. And Tanetta, we're talking about the top five food items that benefit our mental health. Let's go.
All right, so I got some 5 items, and I'm not gonna give them all. Give the list out right away, because the last one I want everybody to think on and just eat moderately. But the first one I want to talk about, we all know that in the church we always get these little peppermints, right? Grandma give you peppermint, stop talking, but we don't realize that peppermint is packed with a lot of different benefits for us mentally and physically. And I learned this when I was a teacher. So when someone told me, when you give students a peppermint, it'll help increase their concentration. And I was like, that can't be true. And when I looked it up, and I love peppermints, and sometimes you think, oh, it's just a sweet treat. But really, peppermints, and I just break down some of the benefits other than to make your breath smell good. So the benefits of peppermints, and I'm going to read it because I want to make sure I give you all exact details. So one of the main benefits of peppermint, it has a calming effect. So you notice when you put it, either you may have peppermint oil and you may put it on your wrist. That's a way to help you out. It goes right into your skin or on your temples. It'll help relax you. So I noticed, and my father, and when I would get a massage, they would actually put like a peppermint drop on my wrist or my temples, and when they would massage it, it'll create a calming effect for you. So for those who may have like a slight headache, if you have peppermint oil, that actually will help relieve your headache. And I learned that. So something else about it, other than the concentration, it helps support your gut health. And that's something else. You don't just drink the oil. That's something I want to make sure people know. You don't get the
Mm,
peppermint essential oil, you don't drink it. So this is maybe if you have peppermint tea, like the leaves, and if you boil them, you can get fresh peppermint leaves or just buy peppermint tea. It'll help
mm.
soothe the stomach, especially if you have a like a small stomach ache, not something severe. Just drink that without any sugar. It'll help relax you. So, and I
Mm.
love that about peppermint.
Well, you know,
Yes.
it's funny you said peppermint, Tanetta,
Hmm.
because in my dentist office, and you know, everybody ain't the fan of the dentist and dentistry artistry,
Hmm.
but you have to go, right? You got to take care of yourself. And ironically, they have right at the front desk a big bowl of peppermint candy.
Of course,
And
right.
right, and it makes me wonder: do they put that there so someone can say, "Let me grab one of these," and
Hmm.
it actually provides them that calming spirit before they have to go into that dentist chair?
Yes. And they don't, people don't realize, they just think, oh, they want my breath to smell good. That is one of the reasons, but also it relaxes you mentally. It has those type of, that's one of the ways that it helps you out. So
Yep.
that is number one. And
Number
something
one,
number two
let's
is
go.
hibiscus, and called different names depending on the language you speak and the different cultures you're coming from. But if you're from a Latino background, you may call it jamaica, which I did not know it was the same thing. It took me the longest to realize that. And then from the islands, you may call it sorrel or sorrel, but it's
Mhm.
this red, beautiful flower, and it's it can grow in so many different regions. It's not just native to warm areas, but with hibiscus, what I learned is that it also helps fight depression. And I thought that
Mhm.
was really cute. And I didn't know some things you just learn over time because I actually like the taste of hibiscus tea and hibiscus punch. So how where I would get hibiscus flower, and it's actually just a flower. I would get hibiscus from sometime like a international grocery store, or around my house it's like a Mexican grocery store, and they sell them in some grocery stores. If that go like a major grocery store, if it's around a lot of cultural groups, they may sell bags of dry hibiscus leaves or flower, and you can just boil it, and when you wash it first and then you boil it for maybe 10 minutes and you drain it and you add honey, you can add sugar because hibiscus is extremely tart. It reminds me of cranberries, like an unsweetened cranberry. But once you add a sweetener to it, it is so delicious. But I don't know. Have you had hibiscus before or
You know, I was
Jamaica?
as you said that, Jeanette, I was thinking about that, and I used to drink a tea that had his hibiscus in it, and I love that tea. It was like a mango hibiscus tea,
Hmm.
uh, you know. And I remember that there was flowers, red flowers,
Yes.
on the packaging of that tea. So that's what it made me think. But I don't have any other experience of it. But it's you know, it's unique that these flowers transform into other properties and
Yes.
allow it to enter our body and benefit it in ways that, like you said, we just don't know and we're maybe not mindful about. So
Right.
I love. So this is number two, right? Number two, right?
Number two, and I want to add on to hibiscus because
Okay.
we all are told about drinking orange juice for vitamin C, but hibiscus has more vitamin C than oranges. So it
Oh,
also boosts your immune system. So say if someone's sick, I mean, this is not like a medicine you can like get a pill from, but you can just make the hibiscus tea or punch and just drink it every day. Other than it tasting good, it has a lot of vitamin C. So if you have a throat ache or something, you can drink some hibiscus with a little honey every single day and you will feel better. So it fights depression, it builds the immune system, and it also is a natural relaxing. So some things to think about with hibiscus.
and
So
you heard it. Number two,
yes,
hibiscus.
yeah.
It fights depression, y'all. I don't know if you heard that.
It helps. It's a
That's
relaxing.
yeah, that's something they should take in and understand that, like, yeah, get some hibiscus in your life, right? That's what it sounds like to me.
Absolutely. And I used to sell it when I was doing catering. It was so good, y'all. But I'm gonna get to the number three.
Let's go. Number three. Number
Number
three.
three is cilantro. Cilantro.
Mm,
Now, I mean, it tastes good in salsa. It is good. It's really, really good. But it also is a detoxer. It helps
mm.
pull heavy metals from your bloodstream. And
Okay.
I learned that from my midwife when I was delivering my babies. She told me to try to drink, not drink, but like put cilantro in my food. So put
Mm.
cilantro in my rice, on my fish. If I like salsa, just add a little extra cilantro to it. But it's a kicker. Everybody
Okay.
don't like cilantro because I don't know if you heard of this gene. Some people think it tastes like soap. There are a
Yeah.
group of people out in the world. I'm not one of them, but if they eat cilantro, it tastes like soap. But if you don't want cilantro, just eat some parsley, and the parsley is just as good. But cilantro, it's a detoxer. It also has a lot of things that help support your brain functions. So you can basically be able to think and be more, you can concentrate better.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of some things I put cilantro in. I love making me some cilantro lime rice. I like making tacos. So I always put a little cilantro on it. So other than the
Appreciate-
flavor, it's like so many benefits to a lot of the vegetables and fruits that we eat. So if you
that.
start thinking about those benefits, you may start intentionally adding it to your diet more frequently.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking of all the things like with cilantro because what I learned out here in West Coast area, Colorado, where I'm at,
mhm.
the cilantro tastes different out here than it tastes in the Midwest.
Really?
It has a different kind of smell to it. It's more potently smell like the sense is really strong. And it's really like hard to describe, but I don't enjoy it as much out here as I did in the Midwest.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the healing powers and what you meant or what you said about the it taking helping like taking iron out of your blood. Is that what you said? Taking iron?
Metals, heavy metals.
Metal. Okay.
Yep, yep,
Okay.
yep. And it
Look at
also is
that.
an anxiety relief. It relieves anxiety.
Okay. Look at
So
that. Love that one, Tanetta. In terms of that's the number three.
hmm
What's the number
Number
four?
number four, for people who like to eat seafood, I put salmon on here. So,
Mm,
and then there's a lot of fish and all the different seafoods, but I chose salmon because I like it. But salmon is something that also has a lot of good benefits. So one of the things it does help is support brain function. Like all the things I'm listing is helping you support your brain function. We want our brain to be optimal, to be able
yeah.
to process things. So it does have protein in it, but some of the development that it helps pregnant women and children. Of course, if you cook it all the way, it helps some
Yeah.
of that brain development and the function so you can concentrate better. And I also was looking at it has antioxidants in it. So it keeps you at reducing risk of degenerative diseases, like diseases that may make your brain break down, Alzheimer's and things like that. So always cooking it in a properly heating. Like when you cook it, you make sure you cook it to 165 degrees and you cleaning the fish out, and then you just prepare it, season it however you want to season it, and it helps reduce the chances of you getting those diseases in your brain. So just think about
Love
that with salmon.
it. Now I don't partake, in salmon, but I know folks who do, and they love it, and hearing the
Yeah.
benefits, yeah, that could change their perspective. I know folks who love it. My wife, she specifically loves it on like some toast with
Oh,
some
yeah.
cream cheese, kind of deal. Yeah, and when she's eating it, she's like enjoying it like a champ, and I'm just kind of like watching from afar, like, it looks
You don't like
good.
it. You don't like the way it tastes.
Yeah, but when you hear the benefits, sometimes, and I think with just like age and clarity as you get older, you have to have clarity of what you can put in your body.
Mhm.
It's just not going to work to put the same things in your body. And I think
It's not.
that's one of the things you have to start like turning the corner on. Like for 40 some years, I didn't eat, right? And
Salmon.
maybe the next year I am or something like that. But either way, hearing the benefits can really change the perspective of like
Hmm.
what might not taste good, but how much it benefits me.
Right. I mean, you already know how to cook. Just add the seasonings that you like. This experiment. That's how I have to figure out how, like, to change my way I think about something. Like for certain fish, like whiting or perch, I don't really care so much for it. But if I prepare it in a way like for Asian food and like put those seasonings in it, it tastes way better.
Okay.
Okay,
All
just think
right.
about that. Here go the last one, number five. So I want you all to take
Number five.
moderately. It's
Let's go.
dark chocolate. And
Okay.
I specifically said dark chocolate, not milk chocolate. Even though milk chocolate is good, but dark chocolate. It's more in tune to the natural properties of the cacao plant. It's not so far removed like process wise. But
Yeah.
dark chocolate or just chocolate alone, it does help you boost your mood. So
Okay.
sometimes, and that kind of ties into like when you drink like hot chocolate or like a candy bar, but just dark chocolate alone, it helps boost your mood. It does have some things, like magnesium. So it also reduces stress and anxiety.
Mm,
Um, you're not eating at bars at a time. You just taking it moderately, and then
yeah.
just like peppermint, it can increase your focus.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are some of the foods that I'm thinking that if you don't incorporate it moderately, or if you already like it, and maybe eat a little bit more of it or take it differently.
Mm. Well, let's, for just because you mentioned dark chocolate, I want to give dark chocolate a round of applause.
I
Give
like
dark
that
chocolate a
one. I
round of
like that
applause.
one.
Yeah. And yeah, the benefits of it, of what it can do for you. And I'm all the top five groups that you mentioned, food items that you mentioned, have a theme,
Yep.
a common theme, a common thread. And to me, when I'm hearing this theme, a lot of it is supporting anxiety,
Yep.
supporting depression, right? Supporting the inner
Yes.
workings
Yes.
of the body, right? Not the
Hmm.
outer, the
Yeah.
inner. And,
Boost your mood.
we
Yes. Yeah.
exactly. And before we hopped in and started, recording our session, I shared with you like the importance of like people's energy. So, right, there's these items that are amazing, right?
Hmm.
And they all have beneficial pieces of them that
Hmm.
provides for us as humans, right? But in the other sense, if you have someone who's preparing it for you,
Yep.
right, whose energy might not be on point, maybe they're unhappy, they're angry, and they're trying to serve you up, the lime rice with the cilantro, and the cilantro looks angry and dry,
Eat that.
right? How does that benefit then, right? Does that benefit Tanetta?
Oh no. It all the energy that you pour into that food is like energy doesn't disappear. It's just it transfers to whatever. So if you have a negative energy and you're not feeling good about yourself or that day and you're preparing food, that food is like a representative of what you just prepared, like what's in your mind. And you
Yeah,
may like you can be the same dish you prepared yesterday, and yesterday's dish will be real, real good because you felt good preparing it. And the next day you make that same dish and it's not even as good because you didn't pour that energy into it.
that's right. Yeah, and it going back to just, the properties that serve us within food in a beneficial way, and sometimes kind of magnify like one thing can touch three things within our body, right? That supports our body and our functions. And a lot of times those are the things that are not tangible to the eye.
Hmm.
You can feel them in your body. You might see a difference in a person who might be taking those items in. They got a pep in their step, right? They got some serious PMA, positive mental attitude. And it might be just through their lunch that they brought to work with, right? They're like, man, I got me some potato soup with some
Hmm.
jalapenos in it, right?
Ooh.
Some bacon pieces or whatever they put in it, right? And that's, I guess, in terms of like, we usually wrap up the mental health minute with kind of a 1-2 punch, 1-2 thought as usual. And you gave us the top five. We got the
Yep.
top five. And for everybody who's listening and checking out this video, we are going to put that top five list in the description so you can check it
Hmm.
out. And I just want to say before we keep moving and giving you this great information, don't forget to subscribe and like. You got to subscribe and like so you can continue to get this great information that not
Absolutely.
only that not only Coach you and Mr. Adams going to provide, but all the fellowship, the people who I partner with, including Tanetta Talks, come through and bless us with. But going back to the 1-2 punch, the 1-2 punch for our audience, you gave the top five items.
Hmm.
In conclusion, what are the 1-2 ideas here? Whether it's an implementation of those five items, wherever you want to take it, Tanetta.
Yes. So the 1-2 punch, what I'm thinking is whatever you are trying to ingest or put on your body, make sure you're thinking about how can it benefit you mentally and physically. So and I'm going to say this for me is that hibiscus punch. I like to feel like more free-minded, not so stressed out. So when you're thinking about the things that you want to eat and drink, it all affects you either positively or negatively. So just try to think of it, try to be more intentional, basically. So
Mm.
peppermint, I already know I'll be all over the place. So I need some peppermint. Bring me back to focus.
I love that. I love that. And Janetta, obviously you have your own platform as well. I didn't know if you were talking about food. So
Oh,
is there anything you want to plug in terms of like
yes.
your food page and all the amazing things you do with that as well?
Yes, I would love for you all to follow my podcast. It's called Delectable Perception, and it is on my YouTube page. Delectable Perception is on all major platforms. So if you have Spotify, Pandora, Audible, whatever you want to listen to it on, you can go ahead and just subscribe. And I do try to upload videos at least once a week. And the title is a dish, and you have to listen to it in order to know what it's about. But my most recent podcast is called Banana Pudding with Mixed Berries. Y'all got to
Hey,
listen to it. It's about these layers in our life.
love it, Janetta. Thank you again for joining us and blessing us with the gems as usual, but also just telling us the top 5 food items that can
Mhm.
benefit our mental health. As I said, every Wednesday we provide this mental health minute. Please come through, take this 1 minute for yourself as usual, as you go about your schedule and your life. It only sometimes takes 1 minute for me to just disconnect from the world,
Mhm.
recenter myself, and find that love again for myself. And sometimes that minute can happen all the time here, but make time for it for yourself in your life. So, as usual, you know what my last question is? Who's helping you heal, y'all? Peace.